On a quiet evening, in a small cozy home, a mother cat named Luna, heavily pregnant, stood in the kitchen preparing dinner for her family. But suddenly, the door slammed open. Her husband, Max, stormed in, his eyes filled with rage. Again, Max had a terrible anger problem, and tonight, he was even worse. He yelled, he screamed, his voice echoed through the house. Luna froze, her heart pounded. She knew what was coming. Max's furious words stabbed her like knives. He accused her of things she never did. He called her names. He threw things around. Luna's eyes welled up with tears. She had suffered this every day, but tonight she was too exhausted to fight back. With a heavy heart, she dropped to the kitchen floor and sat there completely broken. She clutched her belly, feeling the tiny life inside her, wondering if this nightmare would ever end. Hush! But little did she know, someone was watching. Their little son, Leo, a tiny innocent kitten, stood in the corner, his big green eyes filled with tears. He had seen his parents fight before, but tonight, it hurt more than ever. His little paws trembled as he walked toward his mother. He gently touched her face, wiping her tears. "Mom, don't cry, I'm with you." Luna looked at her little son, shocked. Even in her pain, she forced a weak smile. But deep inside, she knew she was failing him. Leo hugged his mother tightly, his tiny heart filled with sadness and fear. But fear soon turned into frustration. Why was this happening? Why did his mother always suffer? And why? Why was no one stopping it? Leo made a decision that night, a decision no one expected. As his father continued yelling in the other room, Leo walked to the phone, and with his tiny paws, he dialed emergency services. "Hello? Please help. My dad is hurting my mom." The officer on the line paused for a moment, then responded, "Stay calm, little one. Help is on the way." Leo clutched the phone tightly. Would they really come? Would they really save his mom? Just minutes later, blue and red lights flashed outside their house. The police had arrived. Officers rushed inside, their presence strong and commanding. Max, still in his angry rage, turned to them, furious. "What is this? Why are you here?" But the officers weren't here to listen. They knew exactly why they were there. "Sir, put your hands behind your back. You're under arrest for domestic abuse." Max's face turned pale. He struggled, but the officers didn't let him go. They took him away. The nightmare was finally over. Luna held Leo close, tears of relief streaming down her face. "You saved us, my baby. You saved us." Leo, for the first time in a long time, felt safe. His mother was safe. Their home was finally peaceful. The brave little kitten had done what many grown-ups fear to do. He had spoken up, and he had saved his mother. Now let me ask you, dear viewers, what would you do in this situation? Would you have the courage like Leo? Comment below and let us know. And if you believe that no one should suffer in silence, hit like on this video and share it to spread awareness. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay strong. Meet Sparky, a naughty little kitten with endless energy and a habit of causing mischief around the house. His curious paws seem to find trouble in every corner. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Sparky dashed from room to room, knocking over books, toppling plants, and scattering toys everywhere. His father, Felix, a wise and loving cat, could only watch in disbelief. "Sparky, slow down," Felix called, but the little kitten paid no attention. His paws pattered across the floor as he leapt onto furniture, eyes gleaming with playful mischief. But then, it happened. Sparky's curious eyes spotted a strange hole in the wall, an electric socket. Without hesitation, he reached out his tiny paw. Suddenly, zap! A burst of sparks and a blinding flash of light shot from the socket. Sparky's whole body jolted as electricity surged through him, lighting him up like a bolt of lightning. Felix gasped, his heart racing. "Oh no!" he shouted, racing toward his son. Sparky collapsed to the floor, his little body twitching from the shock, thin wisps of smoke rising from his fur. With trembling paws, Felix scooped up Sparky and rushed to the bathroom. "Hold on, little one," he whispered as he placed the kitten gently into the bathtub, hoping the cool water would soothe his burns. But to Felix's shock, the moment Sparky touched the water, blue sparks crackled around him. His whole body began to glow with electric energy, casting flashes of blue light across the bathroom walls. "What's happening?" Felix cried. Sparky's tiny whiskers sparked with electric currents, and his fur shimmered like living lightning. His eyes, wide with fear, searched for answers as his body crackled with energy. Desperate to help, Felix reached out, but the moment his paw touched Sparky's fur, a jolt of electricity shot through him, sending Felix crashing to the floor. Pain surged through his heart as he gasped for breath. Sparky's eyes filled with tears. He didn't understand what was happening, why his touch hurt the ones he loved. "Daddy!" he cried, watching his father lie still on the floor. With his fur still crackling with electric energy, Sparky darted through the house, leaving faint blue sparks on the floor with every step. His tiny heart pounded as panic filled his chest. What had he become? Meanwhile, a call had been made to emergency services. Sirens wailed through the night as an ambulance sped toward the house, red and blue lights flashing against the walls. If you were in Sparky's paws, what would you do? Would you run for help or stay hidden in fear? Comment below and let us know. And don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends, because sometimes even mistakes can lead to miracles. Paramedics rushed Felix to the hospital, where doctors worked frantically to save him. Machines beeped, and oxygen masks hissed as they fought to restart his heart. Every second mattered. Sparky, still crackling with electric energy, followed the flashing lights of the ambulance. His tiny paws padded through the hospital hallways, leaving faint sparks on the tiled floor. As the doctors worked to save Felix, something terrible happened. The lights in the hospital suddenly flickered, then went out completely. The entire building plunged into darkness. Gasps of shock echoed through the hallways. Without power, the doctors couldn't use their life-saving equipment. Felix lay motionless on the operating table, his life hanging by a thread. Sparky's eyes darted around in panic. Then, as if guided by instinct, he followed the faint hum of wires through the dark corridors until he found himself in the hospital's electrical control room. Sparks crackled from his fur as he pawed at buttons and switches, his heart racing with hope. Come on. Come on. And then, zap! A burst of energy surged through the wires, and the lights flickered back to life. Doctors gasped in surprise as their machine powered up, and Felix's heartbeat appeared on the monitor once again. "We're back online," the head doctor shouted. "Let's save him." With renewed hope, the medical team worked swiftly, using every tool at their disposal. Outside the operating room, Sparky watched through the glass, his blue eyes wide with fear and hope. Hours passed, but finally, the doors opened. A doctor stepped out with a smile. "He's going to be okay." Sparky's electric sparks began to fade as relief washed over him. No longer a walking bolt of lightning, he raced down the hallway, paws skimming the floor as he searched for his father's room. Inside, Felix lay resting, his chest rising and falling with steady breaths. When he saw Sparky, a smile spread across his tired face. "Come here, little hero." Sparky leapt onto the bed, snuggling into his father's arms as warm tears of joy filled their eyes. For the first time in hours, Sparky felt normal again. No more sparks, no more shocks, just the warm embrace of his father. Sometimes, our greatest mistakes can lead to our greatest moments. If you've ever faced a situation where you had to think fast to help someone, share your story in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more heartwarming stories. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.